like, this is red flag number like 165, because what? Yes, I'm spilling all the tea, and I don't care who knows, okay? Because it's G with the T. So get ready to sip slow. So, as you can see by the title, this is the time that my friend slept with her sister's man. Let's get into the video. So, this girl and I were friends. I just want to put that out there. We are no longer friends. We are gonna call her
2,000 years later.
We're gonna call her Princess because she thought she was a princess and treated everyone like, you know, she was royalty. So a little backstory on the girl. So I met her through Dodo Bird. If you do not know who Dodo Bird is, please, I don't know if it's this side or this side, there'll be a card inserted on either side of where you can go watch the first video where I talk about Dodo Bird, who is my ex-boyfriend. So I met her through Dodo Bird at one of his birthday parties, and you know, we hit it off. We became really cool friends after that. I introduced her to a lot of people I know. She introduced me to a lot of people she knows, and you know, it was what it was. And we'll also be talking about her sister, so we'll name her sister Queen. And obviously the boyfriend, he got to give him a name, so we're naming him Dirty. And you'll figure out why their names are what they are in just a moment. So fast forward to when things went left. Me and Shanti at the time, I've also mentioned Shanti in the last video, that is my best friend. At the time, we were having issues with our friendship. I felt like she wasn't being a good friend to me, and so just based off of things that I was hearing from people who didn't even know each other, they were telling me that she was speaking on me, and she has since admitted it and apologized and have grown from that. So if you're watching this, babe, I love you. I know she's gonna be watching this because she's my best friend, and she better be watching this, okay? And so at the time we weren't really close, and it was easy for me to believe things that people were telling me about her because I just was not in a mindset of trusting her. So it, like I said, it came to me that she was talking about me, and then it turned out that she was talking about Princess. So Princess's sister, Queen, we were all close to Queen because Queen was like this older sister that looked out for us and took care of us, and you know, so we had a lot of respect and love for Queen. And so Queen and Shanti were pretty close, and Shanti and Queen had a conversation where Queen told her that she thinks that Princess might be sleeping with Dirty. And so, you know, she tells her what happened. She actually found a used contraceptive glove in her car, Queen's car, wrapped up in a sock and like thrown in the back seat or something like that. And so Queen, obviously, if she sees that, she's gonna address it. So she addressed it with Princess because that made her suspicious. Then she also saw on Princess's iPad, I guess, you know, Queen and Princess were sharing an iPad. I could have this wrong, but something along these lines. Queen saw a D pic in Princess's iPad. And Princess was like,
oh no, like, you know, that wasn't for me or whatever. That was stupid.
Just made up a lie. So her being upset, she vents to Shanti. So Shanti, I'm not gonna lie, at the time was a little bit messy and didn't understand boundaries in some ways. So she was telling everybody. She told me, she told other people in her friend group, and obviously it got back to Princess. So Princess, you know, was telling everybody that Shanti stole from her, that she stole money off of her Uber and all types of stuff. And at the time it was easy for me to believe because I was upset with Shanti. I didn't trust her at the time. So I'm like, whatever she's telling me is most likely true because I'm seeing it for myself. So she was telling this story and I believed it at the time, but now that I think about it, it made no sense. Like, how did she steal money off of your Uber? How? Anyways, so hearing that, and then Shanti was also putting out tweets like, when I see that B, I'm going to throw a drink on her and all types of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, sis is definitely tripping. Like,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Princess was the nicest, sweetest, like, girl. She just seemed very wholesome, very down to earth. Like, just had all these people that loved her, very just pretty. And, so a lot of people just kind of gravitated towards her. And so it was kind of upsetting to hear that, Shanti was threatening her. So we all were like, first of all, no, we're not talking to you no more. We cut her off. We were like, forget her. If she wants to fight her, she's gonna have to deal with us too, because you ain't about to do this to little sis. No. Fast forward, so me and Princess are starting to get closer because, Shanti's out of the picture. And at the time, Shanti and Princess probably were a little bit closer because they would hang out all the time, and I was always at work and I was dealing with my relationship or whatever, so I wasn't always there for everything. But they were together a lot and knew a lot of the same people. And so it kind of got to a point where a lot of people, like I said, stopped talking to Shanti. And so Princess finally, was like, hey, let's go sit down at brunch and we'll talk. And I'm like, okay, thinking we're just going to talk about my brand that I'm getting ready to launch and everything, that's going on. And so I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. So we go to brunch and we sit down and she begins to tell me what happened between her and Dirty. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't really care and I don't feel like you need to, divulge this information to me. But I knew that in some ways it'll make her feel better to have me hear her side of the story. So I didn't even say anything. I just let her vent to me. And her story was very skewed compared to the real story. So I'm just like, okay, well, but it seemed believable. There was little things that she was telling me that just were like, okay, well, that's believable. So he wanted her to hang out with him, and it was like late one night and he was like, hey, come hang out with me. And she's like,
I can't, right now it's late.
And he's like, I'll send you an Uber, just come hang out. And she's like,
I can't.
And so apparently he ended up showing up and hanging out with her, and she went down to hang out with him. So long story short, she tells me that he sent her a DP, and she was like, oh, you would, ha ha ha, like laughing it off. And basically trying to put the blame on him, trying to tell me that he, was trying to get at her or whatever. Like, there was no mutual feelings there at all. So in my head, I'm just thinking, okay, like, that's how dudes are. They're nasty. You're a pretty girl and you guys are around each other a lot, which this is a backstory. Princess is an aspiring dancer. She wants to be a professional dancer, so a lot of the times it was okay for her to hang out with Queen's boyfriend without Queen because he was a promoter in LA, Hollywood, whatever, a promoter. Because anybody who's a promoter, like a real promoter, like can get you in every time. He could only get us in sometimes. So let's just put it at that. He was a LA promoter. Anyways, so it wasn't weird or anything like that for us to see them together. So, them hanging out, it wasn't a red flag for me because I'm thinking like, that's like your brother and you guys do business together. And so when she tells me the story, I don't say anything to her because, like I said, I didn't feel like it was any of my business, nor did I care. So I just let it slide, and I never like even, brought it up after that. It was whatever. And so fast forward to, hold on.
What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know? I said my lip gloss is cool. My lip gloss be popping.
At the time, I was starting a clothing line, and I needed a model. I wanted a pretty face. I didn't want it to just be about me. And the brand isn't just for me, it's for women. So I thought it was important to have the women around me involved in my projects. So I'm like, she'd be the perfect girl. I had all these types of custom things made. So I had all these things made for her. We planned out what she was wearing, everything like that. And she was it. Like, I paid for a photographer and everything. And even during the middle of my shoot, I allowed this girl to bring some of her own stuff that she wanted just to get a couple shots in there for herself. Didn't have to pay for nothing. I was being selfless with my shoot. So a few weeks after that, our friend group is hanging out as we always do, and everything. You guys, I just want to let you guys know that I'm not going to be coming around that much anymore because I just want to focus on my career. I want to focus on everything that I'm doing. I want to read more. I want to go to more dance classes and all types of stuff. And I'm like, girl, like, I support that 100%. I recommended a book for her to read. And I was just being very supportive of her decision because I understand that sitting around all day, just hanging out with your friends isn't, anything that's going to get you anywhere, especially if you have goals that you want to accomplish. So I was definitely game for that. And so she's like, yeah, I'm not going to be going out. I'm not going to be doing nothing. And then a week later, like not even, maybe, a week later, this girl is on Instagram out with a group of friends that I've never seen before. Mind you, I don't care if you have other friends or if you want to go out without us or whatever. My whole thing is, why you gotta lie?
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
So that was definitely not red flag number one, because there was definitely more red flags in the time of us being friends, because she was something else. So I guess to give you guys a backstory, I worked on a dance video shoot for her and one of my guy friends, and I guess it was their idea that they put it together. It was like Joyner Lucas and Chris Brown's new song. So they wanted to do a cool little music video to that, and they were like, we need your help doing the makeup. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she's literally like barking out orders. Didn't even ask me to help her. She's just like, I need you to do the makeup. And for the most part, I didn't have a big deal with this, so I didn't make that a big deal. And I'm just like, okay, cool, And so I'm there, do the makeup, but we're in the middle of the shoot, and this girl gonna get this long ponytail, just long. And every single time she flips her hair, it gets in the way and it's doing too much. And so she kept getting aggravated and, also creating the routine. She just kept putting herself in front. She didn't care about giving the other girls any shine. It was really just all about her. And everybody at that point was just really fed up, because it was weeks of the BS, her acting some type of way, and also them working on other projects, and her wanting to just be center of attention or it's a problem, and it was just a lot. So that's a backstory on this girl. So she's telling me that she doesn't want to hang out with us that often and all that stuff. So I'm like, fine. See the girl on Instagram, I'm like, why you gotta lie?
Why the lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop lying.
So I hit her up, and it wasn't even a hit her up on what you're doing type stuff. It was just like, hey girl, I miss you, let's hang out, So I heard from her, she's like,
Yeah, girl, I'll let you know I miss you too.
then I see that she's like, on Instagram doing photo shoots and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool, girl. Like, you know I'm here for you, I want to support you. Let me know when you're doing your next photo shoot, like I'll pull up or whatever. And she
It was okay, girl, I'm just trying to focus on me, so, I wasn't really trying to have everybody
around, and I'm like, that I respect that too. So didn't think much of it. Then more time passes, and one of my friends breaks up with his boyfriend, and they're not talking anymore. And all of a sudden she's talking to the dude, like, my friend's ex-boyfriend, and I'm like, wait, why are you talking to him? So she tells him that she stopped talking to us because we just sat around all day talking mess about people. And I'm like, first of all, the only person we were talking mess about was Shanti at the time, and it was based off of what we were going through with her, and you participated in that, and you initiated it sometimes too. So I'm like, who we talking about? And me and my friend are just confused because we're like, who we talking about? I'm gonna call him Hollywood. So I'm like, who we talking about, Hollywood? Like, we talking about people? And he's like,
no, we ain't talking about nobody.
so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Let that go. Then I find out that not only did she cut us off, she's now friends with Shanti. Like, they rekindled things after telling everybody that she lied on you, that she stole from you. You now want to turn around and be friends with her? I'm like, this is red flag number like 165, because what? I'm like, all right, cool, like, that's fine. She want to be friends with the girl, that's fine. As far as I know, we're still friends. But because she didn't like completely cut us off and wasn't like, I wasn't talking to you, but she wasn't really like talking to us. I would hit her up, she would respond, but that was really it. It wasn't no like, let's hang out, and like she actually followed through type plan. So it was a lot going on, and I'm like, okay, cool, girl. You want to be hanging out with the girl that was talking about you, then by all means, go ahead. So fast forward, Hollywood and Shanti live in the same area. So he ran into her, and after not talking to her for so long, like I'm telling you, we cut her off and we were really upset with her. After not talking to her so long, I guess he missed her, and he was like, oh, I saw her the other day, like, you should hang out with her. And I was at his house, and I'm like, no, boy, I ain't hanging out with her. Like, she got some line, and ain't no coming back from it, boo. But you did, and if you watching this, I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm proud of you. Okay? And so I'm there, and he ambushes me with Shanti, and I'm like, whatever. I see her in like the
Waterworks just scored because this is my best friend, this is my sister. I love you no matter what.
So waterworks are going, and then she tells me the details of her friendship with Princess. And so, she says that they just, they kind of started talking through another mutual friend who is a artist. The artist actually uses Princess as a dancer, and so Shanti, that's her friend first, so she's obviously gonna show up for her friend who's an artist. We'll call her the artist. So the artist invited Shanti to a party slash performance or whatever. So Shanti went, and she sees Princess there, and I guess they ended up speaking. And so Shanti tells Princess, you should talk to your sister Queen. Like, whatever happened between you guys, just go ahead and talk to her. That's your sister at the end of the day. And I know you miss her, and I know she like misses you. And so Princess goes and talks to her sister, and she tells her the truth, which I applaud that. should have told her the truth from the beginning. You shouldn't have lied to anybody. I mean, not that it was any of our business, but why offer up a lie to me? Like, I don't understand that. So she tells her sister whatever, and you know, her sister was not having it. She was upset, and I think that they may have fought or whatever. But come to find out, I'm thinking this was just a one-time situation that Princess slept with Dirty. They were doing it, like, and even after she found out, they were still doing it. So I'm like, yo, that's foul. But at the same time, I'm thinking, anybody who can do something like that to their family can't be all the way, like, right. There has to be something internally wrong with them. Could be confidence, it could be, you know, it could be anything. So I'm the Taurus that I am. I'm like, I need to reach out to her and let her know that she has love and support from me, because I'm not gonna sit here and turn my back on her. That's just not the type of person I am. Even though she's being very, like, you know, distant, and I understood that her distance was starting to stem from what she was doing and the lies. I think the lies started to kind of consume her, because you know, she saw how we were feeling and what we were going through with, you know, Shanti, and I think that she felt guilty in some ways, because I don't think she's a bad person, but she does a lot of shady things and she's not conscious of herself, which we will definitely be speaking about, being conscious of yourself and your actions and the way that you treat people on this channel, because that's very important. And so I'm just in my head like, wow, like, this girl really sat here and lied this whole time to everybody. Like, she has to be going through it, like, you know, especially if she's not talking to her sister no more. Like, she has to be upset. And so I messaged her and I'm like, look, girl, I'm here for you. I love you. You know, I'm not judging you or anything like that. I just want you to know that I'm here for you and you can talk to me. And I love you. And that was the last time I've ever messaged her, because she responded and she's like, I love you too. And like, you know, she just didn't reach back out. She just kind of kept doing that, where she would hit me up and not. Okay. So why haven't you liked the video yet? Go ahead and comment. And you better subscribe too, because I'm making this for y'all and you don't want to miss the tea, because it's always hot, okay? So make sure you subscribe. Now back to the video. I reached back out, which in some ways it did hurt. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm tough and be like, I don't care. I don't care if you want to cut me off and you want to stop talking to me, but at least give me the conversation, especially when I've supported you, especially when I've, you know, done a lot to like really be there for you and kind of went out my way. It's like, I don't do that unless I really care about you. So if she's watching this, if any of her friends are watching this, just know that I don't care how you feel at this point, because you didn't care how I felt, and this is my platform to vent and to teach people what to and not to do, or at least help people from my past experiences. So feel how you want to feel. I don't care. But to kind of continue the story, it didn't end there. Like, yes, I found out the information from her, but not too long ago, I want to say a couple months ago, a friend who is, I guess, mutual, she told me, she was like, hey, like, she told me, Princess told me that you guys don't hang out no more, that you cut her off. And I'm
Like,
I cut her off. Baby, no. If I'm gonna cut somebody off, there's gonna be a conversation, and that's just that. If I'm cutting you off, there's gonna be a conversation. If I'm upset with you, there's gonna be a conversation. It might not be right away, but there's gonna be a conversation, and there was no conversation where I told her I'm cutting you off. Literally the last thing I told her was that I'm gonna be there for you. but yet she wants to spin the narrative and tell people certain things. So I think it's important for people to know who they're messing with for real entirely, because I spent money and time on my brand, making her the face of my brand, just to have to throw all that away. So yeah, I want to let people know not to waste your time with that. And I do want to definitely let people know that you have to be careful and not trust people with certain things. But, you know, it is what it is. So that concludes the video. If you guys like this video, make sure you comment down below. Let me know. Like the video, obviously. Share it with your friends. And make sure you subscribe in order to see more videos from me, G with the T.